Bill, nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by.
Great. Can you tell us more about your project, about this flow system, about your company
Absolutely,
in general?
Absolutely. So welcome. This is the AW609. It's the world's first commercial tilt rotor. So as a tilt rotor, it will take off vertically. You'll notice the nacelles and the prop rotors on top, oriented 90 degrees vertical. So, but after it clears the ground, it will then rotate those nacelles down and fly like a turboprop aircraft. So for missions requiring you to go far and to go very fast and to go vertical, that you may not be starting at an airport, then we have a lot of interest in this platform, this configuration, because this allows you to do those criteria all in one platform, one aircraft.
Cool. When did you start this project?
So we took ownership about 10 years ago. Now, during that time, we essentially redesigned the entire aircraft. So you look at the major aircraft components, you know, the engines, the avionics, the flight control system, right? We've all altered those and upgraded those, you know, and optimized that for this aircraft to expand its capability here.
When you got your certification and you start flying at maybe Europe, America?
Soon. So it's a matter of methodically going down our you know, technical to-do list, as they say. But I can tell you the aircraft is very, very mature. We're close to 700 flight hours. This aircraft that we're proud to debut at the Dubai Air Show here, this is our final prototype. It's production representative configuration. So those development items I mentioned before that we took some time and worked on those, new engines, new flight deck, new air data systems, new ECS, increased max takeoff weight.
And how many hours you spend for experiments? How many hours this model already flying?
So this aircraft is pretty new, actually. So we're a little over 50 on this aircraft, but the entire fleet, like I said, is close to 1,700 right now.
Okay, can you tell more about capacity? How many people inside? What's the maximum length and what's the maximum height for flying?
So maximum capacity for seating for passengers is 9. Now that's more of a kind of utilitarian type seating. For VIP and corporate, you're looking more towards 7, more luxurious. And in fact, leveraging our Augusta brand that you might have heard of. It's a more bespoke interior. So max range with standard fuel is 700 nautical miles. Our top speed is 270 knots true airspeed. And our ceiling is 25,000 feet. So it's really about optimizing the performance, you know, when it's in that specific regime of flight. You know, when it's acting as an airplane, you're flying like an airplane, right? And so taking advantages of altitude, flying above obstacles, flying direct, you know, and getting that smooth air instead of the lower, you know, more turbulent
For example,
air.
if we use this airplane inside New York, what is expectation price for ticket?
Well, that depends on the operator, but I can tell you New York's a wonderful example. You look in the United States, one of the most frequent destinations from New York City is Washington, D.C. Right now, that's close to a 3-hour train ride, or you could take an airplane. However, you're going to leave from outside the city center, let's say Wall Street. There's no airport there.
Yeah, sure.
Right, so you have
JFK is out of the city.
Right. You have to take a car, take a helicopter to the airport to fly down to Washington, D.C. Then they take another car to get to your final destination. The attractiveness, the interest here is we go point to point. We directly can go from Wall Street to downtown city center, from city center here. And that's, you look at the total time, the transit time here.
Yes, I understand the idea, but what about approximately average price for ticket?
Well, again, that would depend. Yeah, that would depend on the operator, right, and their overheads and things like that. So each one would be unique.
Okay. What's your main advantages comparing to other companies? What's the main feature for this aircraft?
So a tilt rotor configuration, you know, and specifically the AW609 is for those missions you want to go far, fast, and vertical, right? So you think about it. If I want to go far and fast, you can look around here and see a lot of fixed-wing business jets that are wonderful aircraft that can do that mission. Likewise, if you want to go far and vertical, I can talk to you about our Leonardo helicopter family of aircraft that we have that can go far and still have that vertical. But for missions that require runway independence, I'm not going to start or stop at an airport, right? I need to go very, very far, and I need to go very fast. I want to take advantage of high altitude. I have to fly over mountain ranges or obstacles, right? I have to fly over a bad weather system. Now you're starting to talk about a tilt rotor. So a perfect example is search and rescue, right? So traditionally it's done with a fixed wing airplane that does the search, right? Locates, identifies those in distress, and then it has to call a helicopter out to make the rescue. So just imagine that mission now, if you had one aircraft that could do it all, that had the endurance, the speed, the range of a fixed-wing aircraft that go out, locate, identify those in distress, and then literally stop and hover and make the pickup, right? And we have an optional hoist or winch, that you can make the rescue at. That's tremendous.
So one of the purpose for this is like city mobile, the second one is middle city from point to point, the third one is like rescue operation, finding something like this, right?
Yeah, we have EMS applications, so a lot of EMS missions, emergency medical services, so they might be in a very desolate area, far from a major metropolitan hospital that has the ability for serious injuries. So they literally have to take a helicopter from an outlying area to a small airport, take a fixed-wing airplane to a large metropolitan airport, and then take another helicopter to that metropolitan hospital. So this ability to go to the point of injury for those in distress, make the pickup, fly now, and it's not a high vibratory environment like a helicopter, you're flying smoothly like an airplane. Also, it's pressurized, and there's a lot of injuries that you need sea level cabin pressure for. Injury to the lungs, to the brain, to the eyes, things like that, that sea level cabin pressure is mandatory. So now you can go directly to the point of injury to that major metropolitan hospital that has that specialization. And then you're also eliminating the patient loading and unloading cycles, which is very traumatic on those that are injured. This is a unique configuration. This is a prototype, so this is not a production configuration, the seating configuration. But you can kind of see from the interior volume here, it's very roomy for the aircraft here. We have a lower aisle here, so easily to walk through, and you don't have a problem here. So similar to other pressurized turboprop aircraft in its class, similar cabin size. If you take a look at the cockpit there, it would be very familiar. It's a Collins Fusion flight deck that's used on a lot of turboprop aircraft. The inputs, the pilot inputs are very similar to a helicopter in that you have a center stick.
So the license for this aircraft is similar for helicopter?
Well, it depends, but we see applications for both fixed wing.
I mean license for pilot?
Yeah, for pilots, we see both airplane and helicopter pilots making an easy transition. So helicopter pilots would probably have to learn some more on IFR, because not a lot of them have that background, IFR flight, and then obviously pressurization, whereas fixed wing pilots, the hovering part of it. But the inputs, like I said, they're more helicopter centric, so center stick, pedals, and then what helicopter pilots would call a collective lever, we call a power control lever, because when we rotate the nacelles down, now this is behaving more like a throttle at once.
I see a picture there, this aircraft flying through the city. Is it real picture or it's a Photoshop? Or is it...
I would have to see the photo, that particular photo. But yeah, I mean, we're designing this application to go from metropolitan heliports. Yeah, it's kind of like the vertiport of the future, where you see a facility like that in a major metropolitan area that can handle vertical lift aircraft, well, like the AW609 or any of our AW family of helicopters there from a metropolitan location. Yeah.
Okay, thanks you. Wish you good luck to your project, and hope to see such machines in nearest future. Maybe in 2 or 3 years.
Sure.
It will be everywhere.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I enjoyed it. Yeah, enjoy the air show.
Thanks, Bill.